Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Shantae Risky's Revenge. In the last part we went through the battle tower and got the second magic seal in as many parts. And now we're going to continue on into this little cave. Now this giant rock here, we've seen a couple of these before, but we can't do anything about those for now. We will be able to actually fairly shortly. But for now, we just have to leave them there. And these things are just buzzsaws, they'll just damage you. Nothing too bad. Either way, by entering this cave up here at the top of this room, we'll enter a fairly familiar looking area. We're back in Transition Cave early on in Barren Desert. Now, see that rock there that looks different from the rest? Keep that in mind for later, and... oh, thank God this isn't Shantae 1. Yes, because Shantae Risky's Revenge doesn't use the live system like Shantae 1 did, spikes now do half a heart of damage instead of being instant kill, and all I can say is... thank you! I hate insta-kill spikes so much, thanks to Mega Man. Either way, now we're back in the item shop because I can buy a thing. I want to buy the flamethrower. I could have bought some of the other things, but I wanted to wait on that until I had some more magic gems so I could have more choices. Though you could easily buy the attract magic or the refill magic thing if you wanted to. And now we're back in Tangle Forest because there's a thing in here we can do now that we have the forest key, because honestly, where else would we use a forest key aside from the forest? We can enter this cave, which is actually one that you could have entered before to get this chest, but it's pretty paltry. And now we use the forest key. And now we're in just a fairly linear cave. There are some rocks in here like that we've seen before. We saw one of them over in Transition Cave. Wonder what they're for. Either way, this area is fairly simple, though I love the music. It's nice and soothing while at the same time being eerie. So in terms of life news, because, well, there's nothing really to talk about in this game, it's fairly self-explanatory. First off, got myself a Yarn Yoshi amiibo yesterday, which is all sorts of adorable and staring me right down in the face because it's across the room from me. Also started working on my third review for game design history class, doing Majora's Mask, because what other N64 PlayStation game would I do that's not a Final Fantasy game and over 30 hours long? But then again, how long am I usually playthroughs of Majora's Mask? It's gonna be fun though, because I already know that game fairly well. I can just blaze through it fairly quickly. And that's always fun to do. Huh. Spiked walls, and we can't get past those things, so hey, a magic fountain. Who approaches my magic fountain? I sense a restless energy deep inside you. Channel your passions and allow the magic to take shape. If that dialogue doesn't sound familiar, that's because we just got another transformation, the elephant dance. Simply hold the dance button and release it during your second belly dance move to transform. The elephant dance will allow you to smash through obstacles. Change back, that went way too fast while going through that. Pretty much, the elephant transformation is the exact same as it was in Shantae 1. Do it during the second move, not the first, the second, and we transform to an elephant. We just press the attack button, we can charge through things, which can break certain blocks. However, we can also use this to hover over pits for a short time by doing this, which can be useful to get a few gems over here and there. Because we now have this, it's actually a lot easier to get out of this cave than it was to get in. I think I was originally going to cut part of this, the backtracking through this place out, but I said screw that at some point, apparently. Money! Hey, every gem I get now is a gem I don't have to grind later. Though really, I forget if I do more generic grinding like I did earlier on, later in the game. Because the way I did my gem grinding in between parts 1 and 2 was I killed the demons in Tangle Forest over and over again because of their 5 gem drops. I forget if I used Battle Tower to grind anything past here. I know I did it once, but I forget if I did it for all the grinding I had to do. Alright, oh hey people. Hey Brainiac, where you going? Yes, where to? Who are you guys? No need for alarm. Shantae, right? The chick with the brain? From Skittletown? Yeah, she's the one little sis is always running at the mouth about. You guys are Roddy Tops' brothers? Yeah, that's right. Abdul Cadaver, the eldest. This year's Poe. We're here because we got a proposition for you. Like we know your next stop is the Hypno Baron. This oceanside fortress is impenetrable. There ain't no way you're breaking in there without our help. It's a labyrinth that bores deep into the seaside cliffs. It's filled with tricks and traps. Very, very dangerous. Our offer's this. We get you in return you gotta brew us some coffee. Are you serious? Dead serious. You know about wild brain eating zombies? A strong cup of joe is the only thing that separates us from them. So do it. You don't want to be there when Sister's eyes roll back and she goes freak show on ya. You're going to need a coffee machine and some fresh coffee beans. Oh, and I'd like my little rotten egg mixed in. Drop it off at the old boathouse and we'll hook you up with a way into that labyrinth. You got all that? I hear you, bud. I seriously have to do a coffee run. You ain't gotta do it, but good luck getting inside the Hypno Baron sticks if you don't. I like those two. They don't really do much in Risky's Revenge, but they're pretty humorous in Pirate's Curse when they show up in that. Plus, I love Abner's design. It's very stereotypical zombie mixed with Frankenstein. Whereas Poe's just kind of, hey, I'm the goofy one. Mind you, my voice that I gave him probably doesn't help. Oh, I should have given them the reverse voices just to make it ironic and shit. Either way, now that we have the elephant, we can actually do something about these rocks. Similar to Shantae 1, we can smash rocks, as you saw earlier. And doing so allows us to enter certain areas to get items. And by the way, hi Donkey Kong Country Returns effect. That was really overused around that time, actually. And this came out a couple years before Returns, if I recall. I think that was like a 2008 game. No, not 2008. That was way later. That was like 2010, 2011, if I recall. You know what? Screw it. Googly googly. Either way, for doing this area, we get a heart holder, number 2. Let's see, where are we heading now? And I'm seriously trying to remember that, because as I've said before, I recorded these about a month ago. I probably should have watched through them first just to remember everything, but I'm not smart like that. Honestly, when it comes to Tangle Forest, though, it is pretty annoying having to backtrack through the layers over and over again, because we do have to do it quite a bit throughout the game. At least in Scuttletown, it can do it pretty quickly. Okay, Risky's Revenge was a 2010 game, and Donkey Kong Country Returns. Anyway, now that we have the elephant, we can actually smash that stone golem who's just kind of there. And progress into this screen. Pumpkin Fields B, as I've always called it, really. It's a bit far east for it, if you ask me, but oh well. Now you can... I'm going to smash that rock now, but don't enter that cave yet. You can't really do anything in there until we have a later power-up. By the way, one little detail I like and dislike about the game, by the way, we only went over at this point for the coffee machine, which is broken. Great. One little detail I like and dislike about Risky's Revenge is that the farther you progress through the dungeons and into the game, earlier areas will actually get more enemies. On specific lilac fields and pumpkin fields, we filled with later versions of scarecrows. The mummies even will show up in pumpkin fields. Actually, Donkey Kong Country Returns was also a 2010 release. November versus October. Oh wow, this came out first actually. Ha! Suck it, Donkey Kong Country Returns. Though the DKC Returns probably started development before this, actually, now that I think about it. And in here we get the coffee beans. By the way, nice little shortcut you can do in areas like this. If you fall down the pit right after getting a treasure, you respawn at the entrance. Some might not do that because they want to save on HP, but I do it because speedrunning. Why was I standing still for a second there? I don't remember. Either way, next up, we want to head over back to Scuttletown, I believe. Do I cut back there at all? I don't think so. I forget. I do want to say, though, Tangle Forest's song is really, really nice. It's actually a really soothing track. Which I actually really like it when games that are generally known for fairly high-octane soundtracks or high energy, like the Shantae series has been for the most part. Suddenly has a very soothing song. It's a nice little contrast feeling it has. Also, we want to head over here to the warp squid so I can finally show one of these off. Like I said before, if I recall correctly, in the original version, these only went between the pairs of each other. So this one would warp you over to the one maybe in the second forest, I forget. But in Director's Cut, for a fact, I know that they changed it so that you can immediately teleport to anyone you want, which is the way it should be. But mind you, I don't know that entirely for a fact, because first off, I haven't played the original version in a while, if ever, as far as I can recall. It's been a long time either way. Oh, if it's not entirely obvious, health potions are very useful in Risky's Revenge, because enemies have surprisingly high damage outputs, especially late game. Shantae 1 was a bit better about that, but that's just because I think Shantae 1 was actually a longer game. Anyway, Sky's in here. Hey, Shantae. You've got coffee beans in a coffee machine. Want some help with that? Sure. Oh, bother, this is no good. The coffee machine's all busted up. Well, nothing my wrench can't repair. Come on, boy, let's do your thing. Open wide. And even though my sprite is actually blocking the way, there's supposed to be rotten egg in that. You wouldn't happen to have an egg I could borrow, would you? You're really pushing the boundaries of friendship here. Thanks to you, I've got one rotten egg too many. Don't bother with the puppy dog, guys. One tall coffee, extra room for stank. You got a latte! You owe me one. No more zombie barista. Thank you, Sky, Wrench. You're the best pals ever. Now take this to the boathouse. No, it wasn't entirely obvious because I was blocking the way there. But what Wrench was doing there was actually a reference to Shantae 1 when he opened the desert dungeon. If you remember when he did that. Either way, we could head over to where the boathouse is, but I actually want to head over in this direction first. Because there's actually something we can do now over in this general direction that we couldn't before. Thanks to the fact that we now have the elephant. By the way, I love this remix of the Day Travel song. Day Travel, as I think I mentioned, was for the most part my favorite song in Shantae 1. This is a fantastic remix of it. Jake Kaufman knows his music. Yeah, see, look, here's the mummy. These guys were not in here before, but now that we progress in the storyline, they are. There's another example of such is towards the end of the game, you'll actually start seeing the later versions of the scarecrows in the lilac fields, and even over here. I don't know why I backdashed there, I'll be honest. Though it could have something to do with the fact that when I originally played this game, at least on my PC, I wasn't using my PS4 controller, I was using my PS3 controller, so I had to customize the controls using like X pattern and such. And I had dance mapped to the L button, which is the backdash button here. Either way, that's what we're doing. We want to head over to Barren Desert because now that we can head into here, we can do this area. Now, if it's not obvious, you can't hit that thing unless you jump with the Spitfire. You need to use the Spitfire, and I don't think the flamethrower works for this. And doing so allows you to come over here and get Magic Jam number 8? 9? 9. That was number 9. Mighty number 9. That game's going through a lot of shit recently. Whoa, that Naga imploded. I didn't even notice that. It didn't even erupt into bones, it imploded. I hope. Unless my editor just happened to skip a few frames there. And now we want to head back into Transition Cave, because as you saw earlier, there is a little thing for the elephant here. Well, that's because there is a rock that we can break with it here, and as you saw in this next room, down here as well. And we want to get that. Actually, well, that's right. They have a slightly unique damage sound effect for the buzzsaw things. Odd little detail, but I'll take it. Anyway, we can break this rock, which I think is actually one of the only rocks that ever respawns, because it's in an interior area. And go into this room. I hate this room. Because if you fall down, you have to start this entire platforming section over again. Which isn't fun. Damn it! Either way, if it's not obvious enough, this is just a room filled with platforms of a bottomless pit that'll eventually get you to your reward. These are fairly generic. Though you can skip one platform there if you know how to jump right. And it only gets even more nerve-wracking because now we're doing this over chains with no platforms immediately beneath them. I probably should have been the monkey for this, just so I can make myself a little less stressed. Either way, this entire thing was for this thing, which is the elephant stomp. While in the air as an elephant, press down to stomp. I think this is a returning item from the first game. It's been a while, though, as I've said before. And we can just stomp through rocks now. It's not entirely useful, honestly. It's useful for, like, maybe 1 or 2 magic jams, and that's about it. Wait, no, I think you actually needed to progress at one point or another. I think. I can't remember. Either way, with that, I'm gonna need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 6, we will be continuing on towards the boathouse to give Abner and Poe their cup of joe. See you guys then. Hey, I rhymed.